Hello there! Welcome to Sauron Takes On. Let's go Pikachu and Eevee. Particularly, let's go Eevee. Hi guys, how's it going? Let me just make sure everything's good in my recording. Go to my controller. Or confirm. Actually, this is all pre-recorded. But I got a windstorm going on in the background. And I apologize if you guys can hear that. I don't know if you can or not. But, yeah, this is Let's Go Eevee, and I did talk about possibly starting up this as a Let's Play recently. The main reason that I decided to do it today is because I couldn't find any actual controllers. I am not really big on playing with the Joy-Cons. I'm not a fan of the Joy-Cons, and even if I was, you got drift. I speak English, let's go. Alright, we're waking up with Eevee for no particular reason. Hello, glad to meet you. Welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Oak. People affectionately refer to me as the Pokemon Professor. Keep up on. This world is inhabited far and wide by creatures called Pokemon. And if you want to know how people tend to interact with Pokemon, well, some people can be as companions, others do them for battle. As for myself, I study Pokemon as a professor. Now, why don't you tell me about yourself? What do you look like? I'm going to go with this look. I did play this game a little bit, just so we know. Opted to restart it for the Let's Play. But I'm going to keep basically my name the same, which is Sauron. And I'm going to keep the partner Pokemon the same, and my looks. Your name is Sauron. And since I'm being called Sauron, this boy who's my rival who grew up next door happened to be living where Oak's grandson used to live. What's his name? Yeah, you guessed it. It's Frodo. I'm calling him Frodo. I probably could call him Sam, but Frodo works. Frodo works. He looks like a Frodo anyway. I see. Yes, his name is Frodo. Sauron, my boy, your very own Pokemon tale is about to unfold. Yes, a world of dreams and adventures with Pokemon await. Let's go! I never really did Oak's voice before, so that's about as best as my invitation's gonna get. Man, I hate it when I play Switch too. Speaking of which, can't wait for the Switch too. Yeah. I do like how I have an Eevee toy, so I do know what an Eevee is. I also like the calendar on the side of the wall there. Got old school Gen 1 sprites. Then you got the Gen 1 Gengar versus Nidor. My brain went blank. Nidorino, that's his name. I almost said Nidoran, and I'm like, nope, it's the mid form. If you're ever going to do a Pokemon quiz at me, I can name first forms really well. I can do last forms really well. You get me on some of these mid forms, and I'm just like, who the hell is that? It's pretty bad. I'm coming up, dude. I like I just barged into my room. That weird look in your face. Yeah, because you just barged into my room. Never mind that. Can't wait any longer. Today's the big day. Yeah! Gotta get our first Pokemon from Professor Oak and become real trainers. Haha! Oh, but before we do, you should read the email I sent to you. You got a computer. Yeah! I'm not too focused on the dialogue today, guys, because the story is pretty paper thin. I'm a kid, set out to be the best there very was. You know, like the old school. I want to be the very best, and no one ever was. Mom, why do you look so different? Hold up. Mom, whoa, hold on there. I am as pale as humanly possible. There's no way. I think I'm adopted, guys. Oh, man. Why does your mom character look so different? Like, that works for every other appearance except for this one. Oh, whoops. I also like how this river technically leads to the ocean. So for those of you who don't know, in the old red, blue, and yellow, there's this little river here, and it makes no sense because it literally turns into ocean. Like, is it a bay? It looks like a river, but then it just turns into the ocean for no particular reason. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird setup for Pallet Town, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I get it, because it's got to be like one big kind of circle-ish. But it's weird. I don't know. Well, my good Pidgey, thanks for the help. I think I understand you all a bit better now. Thanks for this. Ah, if it isn't Sauron. Oh, of course. I promised to give you Frodo and your Pokemon today, didn't I? Well, in that case, why don't we head over to... Well, what's this? Man, I was hoping my recording would be a bit better than this. You encountered a wild Eevee. So, my Oak impression is going off of "You Are Close" from Pokemon Snap, and that's about all I remember. I watched the anime, but I didn't really hear Oak talk a whole lot compared to Ash. Oh, that was a good throw. Be prepared for that. There's going to be a lot of from bad to excellent real quick for no particular reason. It's because when I'm holding the Wiimote, when I'm holding the Switch mode, the Joy-Con, there we go. That was a perfectly fine performance for a first timer, my boy. Why don't you pick up the Pokeball and give the Pokemon a name? What the? Now that's a lively Pokemon if I've ever seen one. This will never happen again. Hey, come back! Oh, cool, my Eevee knows rollout. Professor Oak, these Pokeballs, I swear there were only 2 a second ago, but now there are 3! A perfectly reasonable reaction, my boy. You see, one of them is an Eevee that Sauron just caught. That was a good guess. So wait, Sauron, you caught it yourself? What? I've never seen that happen before. Oh, how interesting. Well, my boy, take it as it is. You got Eevee. Aw, I love Eevee. If you guys are wondering why I picked Eevee over Pikachu, I've started out as a Pikachu before. I've had a Pikachu as a partner before. It's not bad. But this is the only chance I have to actually have an Eevee as my first partner. Other than Pokemon Coliseum. What a strange Pokemon indeed. Looks as though it's taken a shine to you, Sauron. Why don't you name it? So, I'm giving Eevee a particular nickname. The name of the dog that we had that passed away. She's shown up in a couple videos. Her name is Far. And that's what I'm going to name Eevee. Oh, gotta choose this one. He got Pikachu. Now, oh, just one more thing. Now that you two are setting out as trainers, I'd like you to help with something. Take this on your journey. What is the thing, Professor? This is a Pokedex I've designed. It automatically records data on Pokemon you've seen or caught. It's an extremely high-tech tool. I want you to take one with you. You got a Pokedex from Professor Oak. And so it begins. I don't know if I can catch every Pokemon, because I don't have access to the Pikachu version, I don't think. Anyway, Far was not necessarily my dog. She was my wife's dog. And, oh, it's the mom that I'm pretty sure adopted me. How cute. You caught it yourself? That's amazing. Far, it's a lovely Pokemon. How energetic. Setting off on a new adventure. Thought this might come. So I planned ahead. Here's a town map. Originally, you had to go into your rival's house to talk to his sister to get a town map. Or you could just miss it entirely and try and go pro bono, and good luck. But anyway, Far wasn't necessarily my dog. The Eevee happens to be female, which is interesting because Far was female. Eevee, like your starting Pokemon, your starting Pokemon is rarely ever female. It's actually kind of crazy that this Eevee would end up being female. It's not super rare, but it's definitely rare enough for me to be like, really? Female? Okay. Because the odds of a female Eevee were pretty low. But somehow Far ended up female yet again. So this game is a remake of Gen 1 games, but to put it lightly, this is actually a remake of Pokemon Yellow. So instead of remaking like the Red and Blue or anything like that, they decided to remake Pokemon Yellow. But to give you two different versions, because they won't stop doing that apparently, they opted to bust out and give you two different versions, but allow you to have Eevee as your partner. And I picked Eevee because it's just so rare that that happens. And again, I do like Eevee over Pikachu. I do like how Viridian City looks. It looks a bit more lively than in the original games, I'll give it that. There's a bit more depth to it, but for the most part, it's just Viridian City again. Unfortunately, the old school Pokemon games had block patterns because it was again on a console that really couldn't do much better than block patterns. Now, real quickly, while we're watching the video here, I went back to Professor Oak. I got a parcel for him. Eevee's decided to sleep on my head. That's what I thought. Okay. So, Let's Go Pikachu has some exclusive Pokemon, Oddish, Gloom, and Vileplume, whereas my version has Bellsprout, Weepinbell, and Victory Bell. Pikachu version has Sandshrew and Sandslash, Growlithe and Arcanine, Grimer and Muck, Scythor, Mankey, and Primeape. That's really stupid. Because you can ride on Arcanine. You cannot ride on any of these other Pokemon that are on this list, to my knowledge. Also, Frodo, why the heck are you back here? Like, seriously, bro. Other than to battle me, why are you back here? It's not like you got a parcel. Anyway, my version has the Bellsprout line, Vulpix and Ninetales, Meowth and Persian, Coughing and Wheezing, Pinsir, Ekans, and Arbok. So somehow I got like all the Team Rocket Pokemon. Which is weird. Well, not super weird. Coughing Ekans and Meowth weren't catchable in Pokemon Yellow. So it makes sense that the one that's kind of distant from Pokemon Yellow, where you get the Eevee, has all those Pokemon. So I don't know if I'm going to complete the Pokedex here. I could transfer some from Pokemon Let's Go, like the actual Let's Go game. I got plenty from there. I heard you can also Mega Evolve in this game, because, you know, I'm finding out your partner Eevee has really good IVs. Like, ridiculously good IVs. And it might be a bit OP. From what I've heard, it's really OP. Anyway, yeah. So, Far. I miss her deeply. She might not have been fully my dog, but I helped take care of her. I was there from the get-go. She was definitely more attached to my significant other than me. But I still cared about the dog quite a bit. So we're going to have an adventure together. That being said, that's not necessarily what I planned on. The save data that I erased also had the Eevee named Far after our dog. So I figured, you know what? Let's do it. It'll be a good dedication. I can't bring this Eevee with me, sadly, which I found out. But it'll be one last adventure. It'll be fun. Hopefully. When I find a controller, or the controllers, there's several, which we all... we took the controllers with us to our trip Arizona. We went to Arizona. And it was a heck of a drive. But yeah, we haven't unpacked everything quite yet. I know it's been over a week, but work has definitely missed me and has been working me quite a bit. Unfortunately, now I have more hours than I originally had, so that's interesting. I gotta put something on Far. If you're wondering, yes, Far liked to dress up. We brought home a tiny Halloween costume. Obviously too small for any of us to wear. Far was going to be the one to wear it, but she recognized that it was probably for her. And immediately wanted everything to do with it. She loved playing dress up. I was actually going to walk the dog today too, but for whatever reason, there's a nasty little windstorm outside. Seems like every day I set aside to walk the animals, there's some type of weird weather anomaly. So we got Rattata. Now we're catching Bellsprout. Bellsprout was not a Pokemon you would normally find in Route 1, but I am glad that they kind of made it a bit more diverse. You'll see me getting used to throwing every so often. You tilt the... If you tilt that thing ever so slightly, it will fly off like you wouldn't believe. The Joy-Con is a tad bit more sensitive than I thought it was going to be, and it's a bit ridiculous. So you got to really throw the ball like you would in real life, but it's got to be like an up and down motion too. And I don't know, it's kind of awkward. I notice my team is mostly female at this point. Not sure why. Bellsprout is a grass poison type Pokemon, and it's not the best grass type ever. It's not bad Gen 1 grass type, but Gen 1 grass types were kind of crappy to begin with, so... The best Gen 1 grass type, in my opinion, would actually be Venusaur, obviously, the starter. But then you had options like Vileplume and Victory Bell. I would say Vileplume is a bit better than Victory Bell, but I'm playing the version that Vileplume isn't in, so... Oops. Now, I think the reason that they decided to give you a grass-type Pokemon this early on, or at least a common one, is because in the original Pikachu game, the Pokemon Yellow, Brock was kind of a pain. So they made him easier, I guess. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be super hard. But we'll see how this goes. Now for the second Pokemon battle. I do like how they have the classic 100-yard stare. It's funny how many people wanted a Let's Go remake of Johto right away. Like, so many people are like, yeah, let's go, Johto! Yeah! Yeah! And then when they remade the other games, they made them too much like Diamond and Pearl. From what I'm hearing, the biggest complaint is they just made him too much like Diamond and Pearl. That's kind of a shame. Like, you want to, you know, remakes are fine, graphic updates are fine, but you kind of want to do some different stuff. And unfortunately, Platinum, because a lot of the remakes usually have some type of, I saw my rival and turned around. Usually the remakes have some type of, you know, content that's similar to what you'd find in the third game. With Diamond and Pearl not doing any of that. There wasn't a Platinum story. There wasn't really a whole lot from Pokemon Platinum at all. And a lot of people were kind of disappointed on it because... Let's take Fire Red and Leaf Green. There wasn't a whole lot of content from Pokemon Yellow, but there was added content regardless. Pokemon Soul Silver and Heart Gold or whatever, they had a lot of content from... Or they had all the extra content from Pokemon Crystal, plus a whole bunch of other stuff too. That was great. Considered some of the best remakes of all time. Even Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire had some stories in their side content that kind of replicated Emerald a little bit. Wasn't exactly the same, because you couldn't keep the same story, obviously, but, you know, it allowed you to be closer to Emerald than the original Ruby or Sapphire was going to be. And then you have Brilliant Diamond and Lustrous Pearl, which are just almost one-to-one remakes. And it's kind of a shame. I'd actually argue that's the biggest issue with the Majora's Mask remake, too. Is that Majora's Mask, on the N64 versus the 3DS, they didn't really add much new to it. The only thing you really have on the N64, or the DS version or 3DS version that you don't have in the N64, is that in the 3DS version, they kind of made the clock a lot easier to run. Excellent throw. Yes! Meter and female. They made the clock easier to run. So a lot of the side quests that were kind of annoying, where you just had to kind of sit there and twiddle your thumbs because, you know, your ADHD and multitasking isn't exactly the easiest this step. Yeah, they fixed that. In fact, they had a lot of quality of life updates to Majora's Mask, which is good. But that's all they had. So it's definitely the best version of the game. But as a remake, it leaves a lot to be desired. I know you guys probably won't see it a lot, but I can't wait to shiny hunt in this game. Quite a few Generation 1 Pokemon I wanted to shiny hunt that you can't shiny hunt on the other couple of games that you can play. So, for example, Spearow and Fearow are not Pokemon that you can find normally on the other games. They're not on Legends Arceus. They're not on Scarlet and Violet. So, you can catch them here, or you can catch them elsewhere. And no offense to elsewhere, but I'd rather shiny hunt here where you can see the shiny on the field. I like that. Dude, I swear you're following me, Frodo. Give me back my ring. The one Pokemon to rule them all. Oh, he thinks he's slick. I don't know. The rival character, this is one of the bigger problems that a lot of people have, is that the rival character was kind of just turned into a friendly rival character. And I get why they would do that more often. But, like, I don't know, it kind of makes them sad, in my opinion. Like, this dude is so friendly, he's forgettable. And that's the problem. I think Hop really irritated a lot of people, too. Because Hop, in Sword and Shield, like, a lot of people love him, and then there's a lot of people who cannot stand him. I think the reason they can't stand him is because he didn't really do a whole lot of anything. You didn't really see his progression. Like, all of a sudden, it's just like, oh, hey, I'm now helping you fight, the hell was that thing's name? The, Eternatus. That's who it was. I'm helping you fight Eternatus. Yay! Okay, out of nowhere, but cool. And then, you know, the box art legendaries come in, and one's siding with you, and the other one's siding with him. And it's like, huh, that's weird. Because he didn't really feel like he deserved that at all. He didn't do much of anything for that. And then he's just granted the legendary, and it's like, really? And I feel really bad for Shield players because they have to go up against Zacian. Ugh, Zamazenta is at least manageable, but Zacian, oh, that thing's a beast and a half. I'd know, I have one. I had sword version of that run, but... It's not envious for any means. Anyway, so that's the second time I've crushed my rival at this point. I don't know why he was, like, over here when I was over here. Like, the odds... astronomical. I decided to play with Far a little bit. Far wants to touch Frodo's hair. I wouldn't. Probably greasy. Also, if you guys are wondering, Far was quite a bit bigger than an Eevee, because an Eevee can fit on your arm. Far was 50 pounds. There ain't no way a 10-year-old's carrying that on their arm. Actually, Eevee would still kind of be heavy after a while, you'd think, anyway. So I'm kind of debating on what to do here. Because my Rattata kind of got knocked out, and I want to go heal them up. But at the same time, I'm not really planning on fighting a whole lot either, so... But I decided to go heal up Rattata. In case I find something I want to catch, that way I can, you know, deal with that. My question is wasn't Mankey on this route originally? I swear they were. Viridian City. I don't remember what route number it is, so... Not that it isn't coming up here by any means. Ah, 22, of course. Route 22. Let's just look at the Pokemon on the route. Gen 2. I don't care about Gen 3. Gen 4. Gen 7, that works. Nope. Other than some rare spawns in midair, there ain't really anything worth noting here, other than Nidoran first shows up here. It's the first place you can catch them. That's a shame. Now let's go back to Viridian, and let's see what I can find in Route 2. After I deal with an item here. There is an item that I'm trying to get here. So we got the item. Just a couple of Pokeballs. Alright, now we're in Viridian City, and I think we can just start heading north, because that's going to be our next destination. I will end this video roughly when I get to Pewter City, actually. I'm sure you guys are wondering. Because we're already halfway through the video. Let's see here. I'm just kind of curious as to what Pokemon I might be missing. If any at all. Oh, that's terrifying. Well, I guess I didn't really miss anything in Viridian. Man, so many people are mad about the pricing of the Switch 2. And I don't know, I kind of get it. Like, a lot of people are like, it's corporate greed, oh my gosh. Yeah, most corporations are out for money, just so you know. Ah, here we go, Viridian Forest. But yeah, most corporations are just out for money. Like, where's the outcry when the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox X Series were stupidly expensive? Because when they came out, they're way more expensive than the Switch. Yes, the games aren't quite as expensive, but they talked about bumping up the prices of the games. There's been a lot of people who are like, hey, in near future, there's going to have to be some price increases. It's just going to happen that way. Making video games is getting more expensive. Where was the outcry then? Like, why specifically Nintendo are people targeting for this kind of crap? Yes, they're the first company to raise their prices to 80 games, and I'm not exactly a big fan of the $90 physical copy just being a freaking key. So I do understand, a little bit of the, annoyance about that. But there's people inciting violence, and I don't like that. Like, there's people who are like, sleep on a bed of nails. Like, what? Why? They're a corporation. They're just trying to make money, and they're trying to keep their corporation alive while, there's a trade war going on in our country. Our country's economy is also kind of garbage. So, yeah, guess what? The prices are going to go up. It's just that simple. If the American, presidency, office, whatever, if the government is going to tariff things again, because we haven't tariffed things in quite a while, but if they're going to tariff things again, it stands to reason that Nintendo and other video game corporations are going to want to push you to getting into digital games. Which is exactly why they have the digital game thing where you can just kind of trade games and let people borrow your games like they're physical copies, even though they're not. It makes perfect sense that would happen. I don't like it. I don't have to like it. And you don't have to like it either. But it does make sense as to why that's happening. And that's what irritates me. Like, people are just like, it's greedy. Haha. Corporations are always going to be out to make money. It just is what it is. There's nothing you can do about that. You don't make a video game and produce it for free. We're not a part of like a, I don't know, the closest thing I would think of is a communist, but even then, kind of not. It's just weird how many people are so upset and so angry about the price tag thing, and it's like, this was probably going to happen eventually. Nintendo's just the first company to pull the trigger on it. That's all it is. And so many people are just so angry about it. Like, calm down. I don't know. Again, things I'm not exactly thrilled about either, by any means. But that's just the way the economy is. That's just the way the world market is. There's really not much else companies can do at this point. Eventually, they were going to have to raise prices from what I've gathered in my research. To the point where I knew they were going to have to raise prices because they were talking about it long before Nintendo ever did it. So Xbox said the same thing. If you can't get a hold of one of our newer consoles, you can't afford it, or you can't do whatever, or if you can't be online 24/7, buy our older consoles, play those. Oh well. Like, Xbox did the exact same thing. There was a backlash but there wasn't nearly as extreme of a backlash as Nintendo's getting for whatever reason. So, honestly, I think a lot of you guys are just trolls who are doing that kind of crap, personally. Am I going to get a Nintendo Switch 2? Oh yeah, eventually. Have you seen the games they have for that? Mario Kart World looks great. I'm kind of excited for it. And not only that, but, you know, the open world thing could get boring after a while, sure. But, I don't know, just driving on the open world, not having to worry or care, does kind of sound fun. But there's more to it. I know there's more to it because there's still a Nintendo Direct that they're going to talk more about the game. Meaning that we haven't seen everything in the game yet. There's no way. So, yeah, at the end of the day, there's just more to it. The Donkey Kong game looks amazing. It looks like Mario Odyssey 2, but with Donkey Kong. I'm all for it. Kirby Air Ride is getting a return with Sakurai producing the game. I'm all for it. Yes, the games are going to be more expensive. Yes, I don't like the way they're handling physical media at this point in time. But I do get where they're coming from with it. As much as I don't like it. And I will inevitably buy the game. It'll just take me longer to save up for them. That's all. Oh, man. 40 minutes in and my Eevee's already one-shotting crap. So, the spirals around the Pokemon, I do know kind of what they are. The red ones are for Pokemon that are bigger than normal, and the blue ones are for Pokemon that are smaller than normal. Not as cool as Alpha Pokemon, but I guess it works. I think you get a bit of a bonus if you catch those particular Pokemon. Eventually I'll be shiny hunting a lot of these Pokemon anyway, so... Weedle and Caterpie especially. Especially if you can get Mega Beedrill in this. For those of you who don't know, Shiny Weedle is kind of hard to see. So I might work on Kakuna, because it's easier to spot. But Shiny Kakuna is green, and Shiny Beedrill is kind of like a green plus blue coloring. It's like a greenish hue, but then the eyes are blue. Looks really cool. Now, Beedrill and Mega Beedrill aren't exactly the greatest Megas, or even Team for that matter. But I do like the Shiny. I want one that's not associated with Pokemon Go. I might also, one of these days, decide to just sit down and take a day off and arduously hunt the legendary birds. Because, yes, you can do that. At least I think you can, anyway. Now, I'm not saying you can shiny hunt the regular one. I don't even know if you can shiny hunt the story one, realistically. Shiny locked Pokemon. Let's go Eevee, yep. Alright. Sounds like the birds aren't shiny locked, but it might be easier for me to... Yeah, maybe I'll shiny hunt the legendary birds, huh? Yep. You can shiny hunt them. I might do that. Who knows? That'd be interesting. Mostly, I would be shiny hunting for... Man, I'm taking out bug trainers like you wouldn't believe. Crushing hopes and dreams. That's what they get for bad. Catch your bugs. Leave me the heck alone. Bellsprout really likes the sun. I like that. That's a cute little detail. Yeah, no, I'm probably going to shiny hunt quite a few Pokemon. The legendary birds, definitely, because Zapdos, I'm not a big fan of their legendary, but then you have Articuno and Moltres. Articuno, I know it's not the greatest Pokemon ever. Now, the only reason I stopped is because I heard a Pikachu. So I'm gonna go after the Pikachu here. There it is. I see it. But Articuno, I love the design of. So yeah, I'm going to shiny hunt Articuno. And while I'm not the biggest fan of the Moltres, the shiny's not terrible. So yeah, I'm going to try and shiny hunt that one too. Zapdos, you can take it or leave it, but I mean, if you're going to catch all the other Pokemon as shiny, you might as well catch Zapdos, right? And then you can hunt them in the air too, so that's kind of cool. So you can get the normal one, you can get the shinies in the original fight, and then the normal ones in the air. Now, Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur you can shiny hunt elsewhere. But I might pick some up around here somewhere. Same with Dratini. It's actually kind of funny, because when I was playing Scarlet and Violet, I didn't do that on Let's Play or nothing, but when I was playing Scarlet and Violet, me and my fiance were, or my significant other, my wife, me and her were playing together, and we found a shiny Dragonite. Well, I freaked out and grabbed it before she did. And, you know, like, we didn't even discuss it or nothing. I just saw, oh my gosh, that's a green Dragonite. And just ran right for it. I kind of forgot I was playing with her. So I caught the green Dragonite, and I kind of felt bad because I'm like, well, man, you know, maybe there was a way we could have both caught it, you know. At the time, I didn't realize there was a way you could both get shinies that way. But, yeah, I felt bad, and then another green Dragonite spawned right in. So after I caught a shiny Dragonite, another shiny Dragonite spawned in directly after the fact. And I'm like, oh, well, there you go. Go get it. Go get her. So both me and her ended up with shiny Dragonites that are actually completely different, which is kind of funny. So I'm going to swap out Nidoran female and add in Pikachu. Yeah, I got to get that Pikachu. Now, I might have said, hey, I'm not the biggest fan of Pikachu. You know what Pokemon I am a fan of? Raichu. Doesn't get enough credit. Love Raichu, love Alolan Raichu. Raichu, up there. At least up there with Gen 1. I wouldn't say he's my favorite electric type, bar none, but, like, I do like having Raichus. I'd say they're my favorite Pokemon of Gen 1, or favorite electric type Gen 1 for sure. Other than maybe Zapdos. Which even then, it's a close call. I like both of them. My favorite water type of Gen 1 is Vaporeon, so there's that. But from what I can tell, I can get Eevees later on too, so you're not locked out of getting the evolutions if you pick this game, which is good. Honestly, it's really good. Right now, I'm just kind of looking around. Hey, a Bulbasaur. Yeah, Bulbasaur. I like Bulbasaur. I might like Bulbasaur and Ivysaur more than I like Venusaur. But I like the trio. I'd say Charizard and Blastoise are definitely cooler than Venusaur. But I think Bulbasaur looks better than Squirtle and Charmander. It's probably the spots. Venusaur doesn't have any spots, you notice that? And I think if it had like the kind of discoloration, the spots that Bulbasaur and Ivysaur have, I think Venusaur would have looked better, personally. That's just my take on it, but... Venusaur also got the worst Mega evolution and the worst Gigantamax evolution, too. So there's that. Oh, Caterpie's evolving. Cool. It went from weak to hardcore. I'm guessing he learns Harden. Yep, there he is. And Bulbasaur is added to the Pokedex as well. Now, of course, I'm going to train up a Bulbasaur. It's not bad to have a Grass-type Pokemon. It's not needed, though. Like, again, they kind of do Grass types dirty in Gen 1. Like, the majority of places that you're going to have a Grass type that you actually want to have a Grass type at is the first gym. And oftentimes in Gen 1 games, you couldn't get a Grass type before the first gym. In Let's Go, apparently you can get Bellsprout, Oddish, and Bulbasaur, which are the three main ones. The only one that you can't get that's Grass type is actually Tangela. Is there another Gen 1 Grass type I'm missing out on? Bulbasaur and his line. Oddish in his line. And Bellsprout in his line and Tangela. Nope, don't think I am. I think that's it. The sad part is Gen 2 didn't do much better. Grass types were always getting the shaft, unfortunately. Gen 2 had Chikorita line. Had Bellossom come off of the Gloom and Oddish line. And honestly, I don't even think Bellossom is a better Pokemon. As for Megonium, yeah, it's pure Grass type. It's good. It's a starter. But that's about it. Oh, they had Sunkern and Sunflora, too. Yeah, the less said about those two, the better. I am not a fan of either of those. So, yeah, Grass types kind of got the shaft for the first two generations. Gen 3 had Trico, and Sceptile's awesome. Let's be real here. Actually, Gen 3 just has really good... oh, look at that. My Eevee learned a double kick, which is a fighting type move in this game. Ha! Ha ha! Ha ha ha! Oh, I see. So, that's how it's going to go. Gotcha. So, yeah. Having a fighting type move is actually really useful against Brock. One of the strategies to defeat him in the original Pokemon Yellow was to find a Mankey, because you could actually get them pretty early in that game. Find a Mankey and then get it fighting type moves. And then it would just absolutely steamroll Brock. But in this game, not only do they give you Grass type moves, but your Eevee can learn some moves as well. That's pretty cool. It might not seem like a big boon, but it is, because Rock-type Pokemon aren't super effective against normal types. It's just that normal type moves aren't really effective against Rock-type Pokemon. So there's really nothing super damaging that Brock can do, even with a rock-type move, to your starter Pokemon. Oftentimes, Brock doesn't even have a rock-type move for his Pokemon, so there's that. Just a challenge of taking down an actual rock-type Pokemon. Especially since up to that point, you haven't seen one yet. So, unless you already knew about the type advantages, having a rock-type Pokemon as a starting gym is actually pretty devious. Because right now, all I've found were Bug, Flying, and the rare occasional Electric-type Pokemon, like Pikachu here. Since it wants to come up on me, I might as well catch a male. I'll keep the female one, but I might as well catch a male. You know, if possible. I've heard doing underhand throws actually might help your aim in this game. Maybe I'll try it next time. And no, I'm not planning on shiny hunting Pikachu. I actually have plenty of shiny Pikachu everywhere. I catch quite a bit of shiny Pikachus. Bellsprout, I have one in Scarlet and Violet, so I'm not too awfully keen on that. Bellsprout and Whipping Bell aren't too great. I do like Victory Bell shiny, though. But this is about where I'm going to call it quits. If you like the video, like, subscribe, comment. My Let's Plays are usually more casual than my reviews. I'm going to get back to reviews eventually, guys. I have not had the time or the energy. Work wants me to work more days than normal, so I'm already tired of him. Man, I run into this guy more than I run into the actual rival from way back when. He's actually more around. He's like a stalker. Ugh. He's like a friendly version of Nimona without the stalker joke, because she actually joked around about it. Anyway, yeah, like, subscribe, comment. I'm going to do more of this. I'll eventually get back into Super Mario RPG as well as Mario Galaxy. I'm going to be starting the 100 coins, the purple coin challenges soon. And, yeah. So bear with me. And we'll see you next time. Take care.